Hi guys, this is Cobra Tom,
And Ben and Lily.
and we are going to do a video today. We are doing Cobra. This week's video is the 1987 Raptor. Raptor here. Okay, we're going to just go ahead and write it right off. Just say that this is a weird figure. I had this figure in 1987. I was 8 years old. And I thought this was cool. Because he was a weird looking dude who, at the time when I had a bunch of G.I. Joes and Star Wars and Adventure People from Fisher Price or whatever, he could just be anywhere. And just he could fit in with the bad guys, or he could fit in with the weird space things or whatever. And I always liked him. However, now that I'm a little older, I do understand why this figure is not very popular. He has a Batman type Robin mask. I don't know why. He's got this weird helmet that looks like a bird's helmet, looks like a falcon bird helmet. Maybe he was inspired by Egyptian mythology, maybe. Horus, I think, is the falcon god. I'm not really sure. And then on his back, he's got back and things, he's got a feather pattern. And I don't really think that these are shoulder pads. I don't really understand how this stays on him, because it just kind of goes like this. It goes all the way down. And then he's got feathers in his arms there, in his gloves. And feathers in his boots coming out. Now, in a sort of a way, the boots, you could kind of like give that a pass. If he was just a Cobra guy and he had like brown pants and stuff, you could maybe consider this to be like fur lining and have like fur stuff if it gets cold, especially if he's going to be out in the elements. You could maybe make the claim that that would be like a fur lining and be okay. And look, it's got like a strap that goes around on both boots that go all the way around that keeps them in place. You could easily make the claim, okay, maybe that's what that would be, but they're bird feathers. And even on his boots, he's got like bird things. And on his tips, he's got bird talons. Now, I still like this figure. This is like a weird, I don't know what you'd call this, but a weird, just totally motify, almost like a Batman villain. I know I brought up Batman before, but this is almost like a Batman villain from like the 60s. And he's got a nice handgun. So if he just had like a normal brown jumpsuit and then a pistol, and then this would be like fur lining, and he was out in the elements, and he was a falconer, and he didn't have these weird webbings, and maybe you gave him a helmet that wasn't like on the top of his head, but it looked like a bird's head, but it covered his whole face, and it was like this whole thing, then maybe people would like him a little better. This is cool. I like this bird necklace. And it goes all the way around here. You can't see it on the back, but otherwise that might be a Cobra. I've never really quite understood what this is and what this was for. And then on the belt, he's got a really cool belt buckle. Here, let me see if I can move the arms. It protrudes out nicely. I mean, it's a really nice thing, and it's really cool. It's really good. It's well done. If you would just give him a cooler helmet, and he had this belt buckle and maybe like a Cobra thing or a bird thing, but it just was like that, and you gave him like a brown top with the brown gloves, and he maybe had even if he had some of this stuff, but it was like liner that just went around, much like crystal ball here, and be like, well, he's an outdoorsman, he's going to be out in the elements, he's going to be out in the thing with birds, and he's going to be tracking and hunting, and the Falcons are going to be spying on G.I. Joe and getting positions and all that kind of stuff, and he can kind of spy on G.I. Joe, so he's got this fur light crystal ball here, and the boots and stuff, and the high things, and you could make the claim, well, okay, he's going to be out in the elements, and that's cool, but it really kind of just fails at what it's supposed to do. Now, Raptor comes with 2 accessories. You could maybe say 3, but it's not really a third, because Raptor's helmet can come off, but it would be really hard, and if you do somehow get it off, he has it's like a clip in there, and so he has a big line down his head that's hollow if you get the helmet off, but I don't really think it's an accessory. It is, however, a separate piece. That's why I do say it's not really an accessory, but it's sort of, because it is technically a second piece. You have a glider. I totally blanked on the name for a second. And this glider is actually a really nice thing, and it's got a really nice print on there. It's tough to say, but this is a very soft material. But the printing on there it has a texture to it. But it's really nice. I mean, it's really well done. And they've got a sculpt on here with a claw and a spool of rope. And you can't do this, but what he would do is he would put that somewhere, and then he could go sliding down on it, as well as use it to flap his wings and to glide down. On the back is the universal back peg, and as you can see, it's stitched together. I'm sorry, not stitched together, but 2 pieces, because the outside, and the outside feather pattern with the hook and the spool, and the inside of this are a piece, and then they sandwich the glider together, and then has the typical G.I. Joe backpack peg. And then next he comes with, and I had to look this up because I wasn't sure what the bird's name was, but according to my research here, his name was General... Oh. General Ledger. I had to look it up. because I couldn't remember what it was, and I had to look it up again. General Ledger. And as you can see, well, hopefully you can see, this is a well-done bird with two nice paints. Kind of a duller brown on the bottom and a darker brown on top with 2 straps. Now, I wish the straps would have been like done in black. I'm not sure. I don't do any kind of falconry or any type of thing like that. But he probably does that for some sort of some kind of training thing where it restricts him from being able to fly away or something. I'm not really sure, and I don't know enough about falconry and how it works. But as you can see here too, hopefully you can see that the crossing strips go all the way around. I'm not sure why you would do that. Now, what you're supposed to do and what I'm not going to do is the claw here. I hope you can see that. It's like a C-clamp, okay? And what you're supposed to do is put it on his arm, and then his glove is supposed to act, because on his gloves here, you can kind of see like ridging here and here, and then he's supposed to fly, and then he's supposed to go on there. But what happens is people put too much force on that poor C-clamp, and because it's a separate piece, it's very difficult to see. But what happens is, see where the brown turns from a darker brown to a lighter brown? Well, that's a separate piece. This is a 2-piece model, and if you put too much force, this little brown piece where the hook is breaks, and then you've got just a broken bird that you can't do anything with, and you can't even make him look like he's even like flying or doing anything cool because his legs are broken. So I'm not even going to put it on there. You can use your imagination what that would look like. It looks something like this. Now, I know that Raptor is supposed to be a Cobra individual, like a Cobra, not officer, I guess, but you know, he's got like command responsibilities and stuff, and he's a part of Cobra. But that's never where I put him. No, he is not a dreadnought, but that's where I always put him. I put him with the dreadnoughts. Now, I am trying to point this out. Okay, you've got Wild Weasel here. An individual much like Raptor, in a nice uniform. You've got the Lamprey, which is a naval officer. He's an 04, which makes him a lieutenant commander. Very nice. You have a Televiper. Regardless of what you think of these uniforms, in a uniform. And kind of a very Cobra colory, blue, silver, red. I know it's got some purple. Purple is a very Cobra color. But, you know, he's at least got a uniform on with a helmet. I know this is a little bit different, but it's still got blue and red, like the normal Cobra colors, with gray and white. But you can understand this is a uniform for somebody who's in an Arctic environment. Cobra Commander in his black style uniform. You know, you got like Vipers here, which are my favorite. I know everybody likes the original infantrymen, but my favorites are the Sorry, Raptor. Didn't mean to knock you over in your own video. But have the red and black and silver masks. Very cool. You've got like Destro here in a uniform. The Decimator in a uniform with his campaign ribbons on. Astro Viper in his uniform. I don't have his helmet on at the moment. Another Viper, but from a different year, but still in a uniform. Sea Slug in a uniform. Maybe weird, but still in a uniform. And purple, kind of like some of the, well, like the Televiper and a couple other will have some purple in their either dominant color or in their color scheme. Whether you like that or not, that's a different story. But okay, you've got him red and blue and black. The Bug Driver is red and black and yellow, but he's a submarine driver, and so scuba suits and stuff like that can be different colors, and so it's understandable. But like, once again, a uniform. Crimson Guard has a really cool uniform with all of his medals and stuff. Really great figure. Cobra Infantryman with a mask, but has a uniform. The whatever Rock Viper, 2002 or 3 or whatever Rock Viper, in his uniform. And then you have this guy. He does not fit the Cobra aesthetic. But what aesthetic does he fit? Dreadnought, shirtless dude, monkey wrench, grenade with his shirt wide open, Buzzer with his shirt wide open, Serrana with a shirt that's teared up, Buzzer, Ripper with like a weird shirt that's all ripped up, Zanzibar with a weird no shirt and just weird kind of armory thing. And the same goes for Xandar. No shirt, weird. I don't know what you'd even call that. I don't even know what you call that. I don't even know how this stays on his arm. It doesn't even matter. But he doesn't fit the Cobra aesthetic. He fits the Dreadnought aesthetic. And fine, I mean, you might be like a whole purist and, oh, he can't be like that and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's where I'm going to put him. Please like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notifications so you don't miss any videos and any of our awesome reviews. Well, thank you for watching, and we will see you
next time.
Bye.